Hi everyone, this is Claudine, Miss K Crafts, and this is part one of my Mixed Media Mosaic. I'm just showing how I went through the process of putting it together, and I'm using a foam board here, and I'm going to cover it with that pink tool, and I'm going to use Mod Podge. I'm using the matte finish Mod Podge, and my board measures 6 1/4 inches by 9 inches. And I just give it a good coverage here. Okay, I'll go ahead and lay the tool on there, and I chose pink because I thought it might show up pink, but it doesn't after it dries, so I eventually end up painting the board black with the tool on it. So just smooth it all out, and I use a heat gun on it, but I was very careful because the tool doesn't take the heat very well, and the Mod Podge might bubble, so I was very careful. And it's still a little wet here, but it's stuck well enough that I can continue working on it. And I'm going to go ahead and trim off the tool all the way around and get it ready so I can adhere it to the back side of the board. And go ahead and do the sides and add Mod Podge and fold the tool to the back side and use Mod Podge to hold it down. I really like this foam board. I got it at Walmart, and it's probably the best quality foam board I've seen yet. I've bought some at the dollar store, didn't really care for it, but this is really good quality foam board, so I was real happy with it. I didn't have any paneling or anything thick enough, so this worked out pretty good for me. Besides, this is my first experience to do a mosaic, and it's a trial thing, so we'll see how it turns out. Okay, I'm going to start cutting some paper out for the back side, and this paper is titled Once Upon a Springtime by Tiny Treasures. So I'm just cutting the paper out. I'm going to use this soda cracker box to adhere to the back side of the paper to give it a little more stability. And I'll just add some, I think that's some Eileen's glue. And I start out thinking I'm going to smooth it on with the card, and no, that doesn't work. And that was not enough glue, so here we go, more glue. And fingers work better. That's so much more fun. And just smear it all around. Yeah, your fingers are your best tools, right? Okay, and just lay it right on the, I guess you might call it chipboard. And roll it out with a brayer. And I'll go ahead and cut it out. I use a lot of boxes around the house. I couldn't find one big enough to use with this paper, so the soda cracker box was the biggest I could find. And I got my ruler out. I'm going to go ahead and measure now for the holes that I'm going to need to string the wire through to serve as the hanger on the back. So that's what I'm doing here. And I just kind of guessed about how far down I wanted to go with it, and I'm real careful, y'all, with this ice pick. I don't have a hole puncher. Okay, here's the metal wire that I'm going to use. It's 28 gauge, and when I measure it out, I just go from hole to hole one time, but I'm going to use four times that, so I can double it, and when I string it through, it'll be doubled on both sides. And just go ahead and string it through the hole, pull it through the back, and when I see that I got it about like I want it for hanging, I go ahead and wrap the wires. And this is a technique I learned from Tim Coffey, and so it works real good. Okay, and then use some masking tape to tape that in place. And I'm ready to glue this on the back side of my board using the fingers again. I have a part 2 video how I made my tiles for this mosaic if you want to stop by and check it out. I'm going to go ahead and lay it on the board, and I get it all just right like I think I want it, and I get my brayer out and brayer it down good. Yeah, and then guess what? It isn't right. Off it goes. Do it again. Oh well, that's what it's all about. Try to do it till you get it right, but you know, can't always get it perfect, I guess. Try real hard anyway.